Hello, fabulous family. I know sometimes I call you friends, and you're both, because friends and family both rate pretty high with me. So I hope you all are doing fine. I see that our friend, and I mean that sarcastically, Sarah Boone has filed a few new motions, and I'm thinking that must mean that Mr. Hobson, her newest lawyer, and I believe it is lawyer number 7. Does that mean he's lucky 7? Has been moving and shaking for Sarah, it looks like. So haven't seen any letters to the judge about him, so maybe she has found her man. So this one was filed on... Where's the date? Hang on. I think it was filed December 7th, I believe. So that's just last month. Okay, so this motion is to reappoint private investigator and motion to incur additional costs and charges for the private investigator. So what it's saying now, they're wanting the Honorable Court to enter order of reappointment of private investigator and authorize the incurring of investigative costs, stating the following in support thereof. Number 1, the defendant is charged with second-degree murder. Number 2, the defendant has previously been determined to be indigent, meaning she's broke-ass poor. And also, she's not getting her alimony from her ex-husband. Don't blame him. Number 3, the undersigned was appointed by the court to represent the defendant. And that would be, the undersigned would be Mr. Hobson. And number 4, it says on February 15th, 2023, an order was signed for Lewis, Aaron, I suppose, and Associates Incorporated to provide private investigative services. The defense is requesting that prison break investigation be reappointed back. Let me just move this up. Hopefully y'all can see it too, but if not, I always like to look at this document myself, but if you can't see it, at least I'm hopefully reading it to where you can understand me. So the defense is requesting that prison break investigation be reappointed back as the private investigative agency assigned to work this case. Number 5, the defense, wow, I can't talk, requires the additional, in caps and bold letters, assistance of a private investigator to assist in preparing the defense of this matter, including but not limited to interviewing and locating witnesses, locating documents, performing background checks, and researching factual issues at the established rate for investigative costs of $50 per hour, with a maximum of $7,500 for 150 additional hours. Number 6, the undersigned counsel has also determined that prison break investigations investigator Billy Lane's presence is necessary for his assistance during the upcoming trial. Investigator Billy Lane, not located in the 9th Judicial Circuit, and counsel would also request that reimbursement be granted to, and let me just roll it up, be granted to investigator Billy Lane for lodging expenses per diem or per day during the trial period at the current rates authorized by the JAC. Number 7, The anticipated costs at this time include the service of subpoenas in the stationary, woohoo. I went back to school today after break, so I'm a little off, but subpoenas and the statutory amount, court reporter appearance fee, and investigative fees and the statutory amount, and deposition and hearing transcripts as needed in the statutory amount. The defendant is not seeking to exceed the statutory cap on any of the above due process costs. So, and it is respectfully submitted by Winston E. Hobson. I can't wait to see Mr. Hobson and how he will have fared by the time he and Sarah go to court. Okay, so now we're going to go back, and I think she has a couple more motions. It's getting more interesting. Let's see. Yes, so that one was on the 7th. This one was submitted on December 20th. Okay, so this second motion was filed on December 20th of 2023, and it is in regard to order granting defendant's motion for incurring additional cost and charge. You notice they put charge instead of change. Oh, well, we won't be too picky, will we? Charge of private investigator. All right, so it says, this cause having come before this court in defendant's motion for determination of partial indigency, partial, and use of process server for purposes of cost only, and the Justice Administrative Commission's, JAC, having responded, JAC will not be filing a formal response and takes no position as to your motion, and the court having been generally advised in the premises, it is hereby ordered and adjudged that defendant's motion for authorization of cost for investigations be, and the same is hereby granted, and Winston E. Hobson, Esquire, is hereby authorized to incur reasonable cost as outlined below. All right, this is interesting. Let's see. What does it say? So, number 1, the defendant is indigent for cost. We know this. Number 2, the JAC is authorized to pay such costs as are incurred after the date of this order, consistent with JAC contacts and audit practices. Number 3, the investigative services will be changed from Lewis, Aaron, and Associate Incorporated to Prison Break Investigations. Were they going to add that? Didn't I understand that? Maybe I didn't. Did we understand from the other letter that Prison Break was going to be added to it? Maybe I misunderstood. Well, anyhow, it looks like it will be changed. It will be replacing. Prison Break Investigations will be replacing Lewis, Aaron, and Associates. Okay, so number 4, it says the JAC is authorized to pay cost as follows. As per rates for due process services set forth in the administrative order, the defense is authorized to hire for investigative services at the ISC established rate for investigative cost of $50 per hour with a maximum of $7,500 per 150 additional hours in investigative cost, and the Justice Administrative Commission shall pay for additional investigator services including investigative services costs incurred prior. Sorry, let me move it up. To the date of this order upon submission of its invoices unless a timely specific objection is raised for which JAC requests a hearing. B, JAC will reimburse Prison Break investigations for the cost of lodging and per diem during the duration of the trial. Okay, so this was actually from the judge, Wayne C. Wooten. Okay, all right, so I guess that's kind of in response to Mr. Hobson. Okay. Says, certificate of service, I hereby certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing has been furnished by email delivery to the Justice Administrative Commission. Okay, and Mr. Hobson is copied on that. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's find the next one. Okay, the next one, ooh. Oh, wait a minute. This one says motion to appoint expert. This is as of January 2nd, but just some days ago, 2024. Is this going to be, remember that thing that the prior, Mr. Bankowitz, her prior attorney, was going to go for the battered spouse defense? Let's see if that's what this is about. I bet it is. Ooh, and they said it was, well, at least Mr. Mr. Bankowitz said it was going to be hard and costly, but maybe Mr. Hobson is doing his thing. Okay, so this is just as of January 2nd, 2024. Let's see. So it says, defendant's ex parte motion for the appointment of a forensic mental health defense expert or similar expert, fact investigator, and for approval of other necessary due process costs. Okay, I think they have somebody. It looks like, okay, comes now the defendant Sarah Boone by and through undersigned counsel and respectfully moves this honorable court ex parte to enter an order appointing the following individual, I can't talk, sorry. Mental health, psychologist or psychiatrist, expert or other similar expert at an hourly rate and number of hours to be, I wonder what that's going to cost. Maybe we'll find out. Hourly rate and number of hours to be determined by this court, or for a flat fee and number of hours to be determined by this court plus costs. This motion has been filed and submitted to the JAC. In support of this motion, the undersigned states, Ms. Boone is before the court charged with second-degree murder and violation of Florida statutes and blah, 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 a bunch of numbers, right? So now it says in bold letters, starting right up there if y'all can see it. Okay, the appointment of an expert is absolutely necessary to protect Mr. Sarah Boone's. Okay. Did something happen to Ms. Boone since she's been in jail? Just another typo, I guess. To protect Sarah Boone's constitutional rights to a fair trial on the defining issue in this case, her right to mount a complete defense, to properly present testimony and evidence relating to the factors set forth by the state. Undersigned counsel requires the services of a forensic mental health evaluator or similar expert to review certain evidence and to make a detailed and scientific examination of certain evidence. Okay, this is going to be very interesting. Okay, here we go. A daily qualified, recommend, meet with other experts and testify at hearings and trial of this matter. Okay. A duly qualified forensic mental health expert or similar expert possesses the needed skills and expertise that most lawyers simply do not have. The expert has the training and ability to collect, understand, and evaluate documentary evidence related to the crime charged and the death investigation, and potentially perform crime scene reconstruction in this case. This should be a trip. Okay, so Linnda Durre, I guess it's pronounced, PhD, all those important letters behind her name, is qualified to serve as a certified expert in this case in ongoing investigations and to provide testimony at hearings and assist in jury selection at trial. Wow. Okay. Dr. Durre has been qualified as an expert in her areas of expertise on numerous occasions and in diverse circumstances, including in and out of the courtroom. She has testified as a certified expert in crime scene reconstruction, jury selection, and in other situations that have required her expert qualifications. She is a practicing psychotherapist in Florida and in a total of 11 states across the country. Her expertise is allowed to numerous jurisdictions. Dr. Durre is a certified forensic mental health evaluator and has expertise in the areas of potential defenses in this case, to wit, battered women's syndrome. There we go. There it is, the battered women's syndrome. Okay, domestic, pull it up. Domestic violence, personality disorders, battering husbands, infidelity, and alcoholic blackouts. Enter Leah. These are defenses that are necessary in the defense of this case. Ms. Boone seeks the appointment of Dr. Linnda Durre as a forensic mental health expert in this case for the reasons cited above at an hourly rate and number of hours or a flat rate, all based on hours of work and related expenses and cost to be determined at a hearing in this court. As an initial matter, Dr. Durre requires a reasonable upfront retainer in the matter. This retainer may be prorated at this court as this court deems appropriate based on hours to be worked and expenses and costs. Without the expert and expertise described herein, Ms. Boone will be denied a complete defense in her case. So they're saying they really need this woman. The curriculum vitae of the proposed desired expert is attached hereto as Exhibit A. Miscellaneous costs. Counsel will seek approval for certain costs such as transcripts before ordering them as required by JAC policy. Counsel will seek specific approval regarding cost expenses from the court before conducting any out-of-state travel of the expert which is not anticipated. As always, this court retains its power to approve or deny on an interim basis and or at the end of the case or prior to the conclusion of the case all specific fees and costs ultimately invoiced that are not covered by this motion. Wherefore, the defendant requests that this motion be granted and that the court order the following. Number 1. Let me move this up a little bit. Appointment of mental health forensic expert Linnda Durre, Ph.D., at a rate to be determined by this court to include costs and various expenses at a hearing on the matter and at such time to determine a cap on the expert fees and costs in defense of the case. Counsel also moves this court to order an initial fee to be determined at the hearing and to be paid once the expert is retained, exclusive of cost. Respectfully submitted by Winston E. Hobson. Let's see, does it say anything else here? Well, certificate of service. Okay. All right, let's see. And I know there's a few other motions. This is interesting. Now, Mr. Hobson is requesting this person who is an expert in the battered spouse syndrome to represent, perhaps. Ooh, so the next one says, okay. So that's it. But it looks like on January 16th, there will be a hearing, pre-trial conference, and hearing the trial on January 29th. Same trial? All right. So this should be interesting. We'll see now. It seems like they would be, they would hire this person because it sounds like without her, Sarah's going to be stuck. All right. So, okay, that's interesting. So we will continue to watch and see if Sarah sends any more letters. But I think, this attorney, Mr. Hobson, in his short time, looks like he is shaking and moving for Sarah Boone. All right. So I hope you found that interesting. I will keep my eyes and ears open to anything that might happen. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribing, commenting. Hope you all are doing well. Remember, I love you. Be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. And I will see you the next time.